Yo dudes, it's Donkey Kong 64, released in 1999 for the Nintendo 64. And before we start this review, DK64 is one of the 3 games that require the Nintendo 64 expansion pack. A little red thing that adds more memory to the console, supposedly. So if you're not emulating this and want to play on OG hardware like I am, keep that in mind. Also, for those wondering, the other games that require the expansion pack are Zelda Majora's Mask and Perfect Dark. Yes, I know Perfect Dark doesn't technically require it, but come on.
Well done!
Alright, back on track. Donkey Kong 64 was developed by Rare, who by this point were one of the N64's best developers, coming out with games like Banjo-Kazooie, Diddy Kong Racing, and GoldenEye 007, only to be followed up by Perfect Dark and Conker's Bad Fur Day. Really, Rare was the only developer of that generation who stood toe-to-toe with Nintendo as far as must-buys on the console, which was good for Nintendo because they had a large stake in Rare at the time. Like the Donkey Kong Country games on the Super Nintendo before it, you play as Donkey Kong and your friends have been kidnapped by King K. Rool, who has also taken your prized banana stash and plans to destroy the island you and your buddies call home. So, just another Tuesday for our good friend DK. As you can probably guess, you go from level to level, rescuing your buddies, collecting bananas both big and small, solving puzzles, winning races, and fighting numerous bosses. If you played any other platformer on the Nintendo 64, this will feel very familiar. Donkey Kong 64 and Banjo-Tooie, both made by Rare, are usually seen as the ultimate collectathon platformer games, in which I am inclined to agree. While you technically only need 100 golden bananas and some other things to complete the game, there are a total of 201 golden bananas for you to collect if you intend to go for the 101% completion. Also, for the 101% completion, it's not just the big golden bananas. You gotta collect all the small bananas, coins, fairies, blueprints, and 2 tokens to truly say you have completed the game. A very common complaint from people is that the game is very tedious, especially in how you collect the small bananas. See, every Kong, the characters you play as, can only collect certain color bananas. Donkey Kong can only get the yellow bananas, Diddy Kong can only get the red bananas, and so on and so forth. And you will want to grab them because at every level you need a certain amount of bananas to face the boss of that area and advance to the next. While I don't think the small banana collecting was horrible, instead of constantly switching characters at the barrel thing, I just went fully around each level with each character, which streamlined the problem a bit. I could see this being a problem for someone who is not used to the genre or did not grow up during the reign of collectathon platformers in the late 90s to early 2000s. And let me tell you right now, if you're thinking about playing games that came out during this time, get used to things being tedious. With that problem out of the way, Donkey Kong 64 looks fantastic here on the Nintendo 64. Colors are bright and vibrant as all of the other games made by Rare are. Most of the levels look distinctly different from each other with different biomes and sometimes different enemies. And of course, who can forget the music? As usual, the music composed by Grant Kirkhope is amazing to say the least. The goofy jungle undertone fits the game perfectly. Everything has its own musical score, from the power-ups to the minigames, and there is the unforgettable DK rap. This is one of the few N64 games that support Dolby Pro Logic surround sound too. And it's pretty decent considering the console hardware was never intended to have this feature, like at all. Hearing the enemies go past your head is a small but nice experience, so if my recording sounded a little different to you DK64 experts, that's why. Apart from the surround sound, DK64 also supports the rumble pack, and it will shake the controller like it's about to fall out of your hand. When you're firing your coconut gun, it feels like your fragile N64 controller is about to shatter. All in all, Donkey Kong 64 took everything the console hardware had to offer and just ran with it. You combine the surround sound, rumble pack, expansion pack, and everything just comes together for a colorful, unforgettable experience. Although I have read the expansion pack was only required because they could not fix a glitch or something. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. But what good is sound and graphics if there isn't gameplay to back it up? Luckily, Donkey Kong 64 is a hallmark of the 3D platforming genre. The puzzles and minigames on offer here are not too difficult and are honestly pretty fun. Classic DK minecart segments being my favorite. You'll be swatting flies, shooting little alligators, saving fairies, and even playing a version of the old Donkey Kong arcade game. The minigames here are plentiful. Should not get bored in that respect. I mean, they even got a version of Jetpack for the ZX Spectrum. I think I just pissed off all of the UK by not calling it the ZX Spectrum, but whatever. As I said before, in the puzzle department, nothing was too difficult to wrap my brain around. This is supposed to be a kid's game, after all. The biggest obstacle you'll encounter is certain puzzles require certain power-ups or moves that you must unlock for each character. Not a problem if you've been collecting the banana coins whenever you see them. You just go and find either Cranky, Candy, or Funky Kong to get an upgrade whenever you enter a new level. Gotta love the names of the Kongs. Fortunately, every power-up for each character has the same button combo on the controller. Usually just crouch and hit one of the C buttons, or crouch when on the pad with the character's face on it. This goes for the controls of DK64 as a whole. Not once through my playthrough did I get hung up on the button layout. If I made a mistake, even when it came to precise movement of the joystick, it was entirely my fault. Seems kinda trivial, but trust me, some N64 games, usually third-party ones, control like shit. While I did not play Donkey Kong 64 when it was new, this is my OG copy that my older siblings played on. I do remember completing the game 101% in all years ago, but getting to the final level was more than enough for me this time. While personally I would say Rare's best game on the console was their last with Conker's Bad Fur Day, going back and playing through DK64 reminded me that Rare was really on top of their game during this time, with aforementioned games like Perfect Dark, GoldenEye, and Banjo-Kazooie. So if you still have your Nintendo 64 with the expansion pack from all those years ago and have the collectathon itch like I did, then take a trip back to 1999 with everyone's favorite Donkey Kong 64. Again, just make sure you have the expansion pack because you won't get very far without it. Also get the Rumble Pack. The rumble motor in the N64 controller puts the PS5 controller to shame.